Hey there guys, this is a little video where we're going to track satellite HO68. It's an amateur radio satellite, and we'll try to listen to its beacon signal. And so this video is more of a little video showing you how I do it, so that if you want to try it yourself, you'll be able to actually do it. So you need a tracking software first of all, and second of all you need a radio. These signals are really weak, so preferably a good radio with an outdoor antenna in the case of HO68. It's not the case for all amateur radio satellites. Some of them, like VO52 for example, I can hear with portable scanner, as long as you have a single sideband on your radio. So first of all, tracking. So I use Orbitron, which is a very good tracking software that you can get free on the internet. Second of all, I've updated, of course, the two line element files that are actually what tell the program where the satellite is, and they got to be updated regularly because satellites actually have what they call the drag. When they're outer space, they're not really in a total state of, nothing, or really having no air at all. Since they're close to the Earth, there's some molecules of oxygen and of basically of air that are around at that altitude, but it's very, very rarefied, so there's not a lot of it, and it's enough though to actually give a drag, so it slowly makes the satellite go slower, but by a very, very small amount. Sorry. So what happens is that these satellites, after many months and years, actually have updated, you got to update all the information about where they are and how fast they're moving. If you don't update your satellite program, well, you won't be able to track them after a few months. Some satellites are worse than others. For example, if you listen to the International Space Station, actually the International Space Station, they correct its path almost every week. So what happens is, after a week or two, your satellite data for the International Space Stations are already out of date. For regular low Earth orbit satellites, you can go by with about a month, or even sometimes 2 months of data, because the error is going to be small enough that it's still going to work. But after a couple of months, we really need to update. And actually, I update my software almost every time I use it to make sure I have the latest of all the information. So we got HO68. Now, how do I know what frequency? Well, simple. You just go to the AMSAT website, amsat.org, and here in the list I will check for HO68, which is right here, HO68. Click on it, and here it's going to tell me all the information about the satellite itself. It's going to tell me what's on and not. You can see that all the FM voice repeater and everything, almost everything on this satellite is non-functional. It's non-operational. Actually, this satellite, I had a problem almost immediately after being launched. But the beacon is operational. Here you can see that the beacon is on 435.790. Now keep in mind there's Doppler. Doppler is because the satellite moves so fast that it actually shifts slightly the frequency. And a Doppler on a satellite is a 10 kilohertz. 10 to 20 kilohertz difference. Often it will be from 10 kilohertz up to 10 kilohertz below its frequency. So 435.790, I would start tuning at 435.800 and slowly go down. So let's go see our satellite. Our satellite is getting closer and closer. So here it is. You can see coming towards Montreal. And you can see by this line here that I'm in the radio portion. So I'm inside the radio area where I can hear it. So let's tune my receiver. I'll tune it with my computer here. 435.800. Make sure that I'm in mode CW. So let's go to the radio here and put some volume and slowly go down and see if I can hear the satellite. Don't worry, you don't need computer control. You can tune it with the radio dial. And here it is. This is the beacon for HO68. And you got to readjust the frequency, because you see, if I don't touch the frequency range, you can hear the tones changing. That's the Doppler shift. While the satellite is moving towards me, it's shifting slowly the frequency. And that's not the satellite shifting. It's really a physical process. It's something that's happening just because of the speed of the satellite. It changes the frequency of the reception. It's the same thing when you hear an ambulance or a police car coming towards you, and you hear that the tone is changing, and then when it's going away from you, the tone has changed to another pitch. It's exactly the same process, but in this case it's in radio frequencies. So basically, what does this beacon tell? This beacon will give the ID of the satellite, will give some basic information like the internal temperature of the satellite, the battery voltage, stuff like that. Often this beacon will be used when the satellite fails, like in this case, this satellite has a malfunction. They'll try to listen to the beacon to see what the information is about the battery level and the temperature inside the satellite in orbit. So you can see it's pretty cool. And this is basically how I do it, listening to radio satellites. And it's a fun little hobby. My major listening is shortwave, but I must say that what I like about satellites and listening to satellites is that I have an interest in astronomy and space. And this is cool because it brings two worlds that I love together, space and radio. So that's really, really nice. So this was a little video showing you how I actually tune satellites, and hope that maybe you find it interesting and that you'll say, well, I want to start, and that it's going to give you, that little interest. There's so much to listen to in the radio that I don't think you'll ever get bored listening to the radios. People that get bored usually listening to radios is because they only listen to one thing. And when you diversify and listen to many different aspects of radio, I think it's a great way to stay in touch with your radio. So hope you enjoyed this video. 73s.